Hello viewers and welcome to my channel IIT JEE Olympiad and AP Physics with Ambarish. And in today's video I'm going to present to you the solution of INPHO 2020 question number 2. And this question level was not very hard. It's like almost JEE advanced level or Erudov level, you can say, some problems, or maybe Pathfinder check your understanding level. So it's a problem in electromagnetic induction. So what's the question? An insulating uniformly charged cylindrical shell of radius A lies with its axis along Z axis. The shell's moment of inertia per unit length about the Z axis and the surface charge density are I and sigma respectively. The cylinder is placed in an external uniform magnetic field Bx cap and is initially at rest. Starting at t equal to 0, the external magnetic field is slowly reduced to 0. What is the final angular velocity omega of the cylinder? So here you have a cylinder and it's put in an external magnetic field. Now what will happen when the external magnetic field is declining? Because of Faraday's law, there will be an induced electric field. But that's not the only electric field that will be there, because the cylinder is charged, and because of the electromagnetic torque it will start rotating and it will generate its own magnetic field, and because of that magnetic field is also going to be a time varying magnetic field, and we have to consider the electromagnetic induction effects due to both the fields, the external field as well as the field due to itself. Okay, so how do we go about doing it? So alright, let's get to the solution. Now, as I said, the EMF is induced due to both the fields, the field due to self and the field due to the cylinder. Now, right now I am not concerned with what field is contributing how much. Let's say the total field is, let us say, Bz. Now if Bz is the total field, the total flux is given by Bz into pi r square, right? Or at the a radius you can say pi a square, or general r radius if you take, that is Bz into pi r square. Okay, so and that should be equal to E into 2 pi r. Now if you just equate the EMF with d phi by dt, the way I said, you get the electric field, the tangential electric field, or we can also call it azimuthal electric field, in terms of rate of change of B as E phi as a function of r is minus r by 2 d bz by dt. So this is the standard theory that we learned while studying electromagnetic induction. So this should be simple to identify. Then we can also write the torque equation. So once we have the tangential electric field, we know that the tangential force will be tangential electric field multiplied by the 2 pi r radius, and then you have, for the torque, you have to multiply it by another radius, right? So force into radius, and force will be given by E into 2 pi r. Okay, so we get the torque equation, the torque. So and right instead of just writing the torque, I am writing directly the equation between torque and angular acceleration. So torque is a function of torque acting on the cylinder. Azimuthal torque is A into E phi, and instead of r I am putting A because I am considering the electric field at the periphery, and multiplied by 2 pi A into sigma. This is for unit length. So length here is 1, and this should be equal to moment of inertia per unit length multiplied by alpha. So this is the equation, tau is equal to I alpha for the cylinder. Now if you see here, E phi is can be expressed in terms of d bz by dt, and if you put over here d bz by dt, there's a dt over here and a dt over here, so that will cancel out and you'll simply get a differential equation between omega and bz. So let's see what we get by integrating that differential equation. So we substitute E phi here, and then we separate the variables and we integrate. Then what do we get? Omega is equal to minus sigma pi a cube upon I, and integration from B initial to B final. Please note that B initial is the total initial field and B final is the total final field. Initial field will be only due to the external magnetic field, whereas the final field, when external field becomes 0, the final field will be due to the omega of the cylinder itself. Okay, so we integrate this and we get sigma pi a cube upon I and B initial minus B final. So please note that B initial doesn't depend on omega, but B final itself depends on omega. So we have not yet explicitly solved for omega, because right hand side itself is a function of omega. So we need to substitute for B final and then solve for final omega. So let's see that work we have done on the next slide. So what do we get? So now what about the field due to itself? So for a solenoid, you know that the field is given by mu naught Ni, where N is number of turns per unit length and I is the current per turn. So Ni can also be thought of as current per unit length, right? Number of turns per unit length into current of one turn is current per unit length. So we can say that solenoid field is mu naught lambda, where lambda is the current per unit length along the azimuthal direction, okay? That is tangential direction, okay? For a uniformly charged surface, the current per unit length we can find out how. So consider just L length along the cylinder. So what will be the charge? That will be sigma into 2 pi r into L. That will be the charge, and charge into frequency will be the equivalent current, right? So that's what we have done. Sigma into 2 pi a into L, that is the charge, into frequency omega by 2 pi. This becomes the current for L length, and we divide it by L, so we get the current per unit length as sigma omega A. So now instead of mu naught Ni, I can write mu naught sigma omega A, and this is the final magnetic field due to the this solenoid kind of arrangement in the Z direction. And from the previous slide we had seen that omega was sigma pi a cube by I, B initial minus B final, and we had to substitute B final to solve for final omega, and B initial is same as B external, or as we are calling it Bx, okay? So we substitute B final in this equation and this is what we get. So omega, and here again there is an omega, we can just transpose the terms and then solve for omega, and then what we get finally, solving for omega, this is what we get finally. Omega is sigma pi a cube by I, 1 plus mu naught sigma square a to the power 4 pi upon I, and whole inverse into B external. So this is our final answer, and I hope all of you liked this video, and if you did like this video, please subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and please share this video as much as possible with your friends who are preparing for INPHO or other Olympiads. And if you're a teacher, please feel free to share this video with your students, so that I mean, if you think that it will be an intellectually stimulating thing for them, and please do give it a thumbs up. That's all for this video. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.